Welcome back to We Are All Fine, flawed, insecure, nervous and emotional. This is the podcast where we talk about the stuff that's messy, tricky and totally normal about being a young person growing up, trying to make sense of who you are while doing life at the same time. Welcome. I'm Heidi. I'm a counsellor and I'm a psychotherapist. 25 years of experience. So today we're diving into something I know a lot of you struggle with and I hear it talked about in my office regularly: social anxiety. And I'm going to put a little bit of a spin on this, especially when we're in new places. Now, social anxiety can feel very, very overwhelming. It's a tight chest, racing thoughts, and a fear of being judged or embarrassed around other people. As a counsellor, social anxiety very neatly and very snugly fits under the overarching umbrella of anxiety. Now, under that umbrella, there are many types of anxiety: health anxiety, phobias, general anxiety disorder, OCD, and social anxiety has a space of its own here because it's so common. What I thought I'd do is I would share with you how, as a counsellor, I would work with social anxiety. You may be thinking of reaching out to somebody, so I'm just going to whet your appetite and explain a little bit about how counselling will be able to help you manage and accept and sometimes completely get rid of your social anxiety. So here's how I would help my clients. Now, first of all, as a therapist, I would create a safe space. This is somewhere you're going to feel heard and understood. Now, when that's in situ, when that's been established, we can then explore your feelings without any judgment from me, so you can start to relax and open up at your own pace. Once that relationship is there, the work can really begin. The second thing I would do is I would work with you together to uncover what triggers your social anxiety so you can understand it. And I'll be looking at how it shows up in your body and how it shows up in your mind. This awareness is crucial for the foundation of change. Then I would build practical skills into our work. I would teach you those coping strategies like the grounding techniques that I'll share in a minute. Mindful breathing, really important, and ways to challenge those unhelpful thoughts, because it's those thoughts that are creating the feeling, and it's the feeling that creates the behaviour. So when you're frightened of how people are going to view you, or you're frightened how others are going to look at you, or how you're going to sound or maybe look, you will then feel anxiety. And when you feel the anxiety, social anxiety has a really good way of withdrawing you from social situations, temporarily believing, if I don't go into that room, if I don't order that pizza, if I don't go to that party, no social anxiety. Phew, relief. That is only temporary though. The more you do that, and I know many of you do, the more you increase and exasperate your social anxiety. So we've understood the anxiety, we've got the relationship, we've built in some practical skills. Now, with the client's permission, I would look at trying to gently, gradually expose them to those fear situations step by step, building confidence without overwhelm. You, as the client, are in charge. The therapist will facilitate how you will experience that exposure. You must always be kind to yourself. You need a kinder inner voice to help combat that anxiety voice that is telling you you can't do this, but your compassionate voice knows you can. Social anxiety often comes with harsh self-judgment, so learning to treat yourself with compassion is key. My goal on this episode today is to support you in reclaiming your confidence and finding connection in the world around you at a pace that feels right for you. You might not be in my office, but I'm in your ear. So let's start with looking at what social anxiety is. Let's expand a little bit. It's that uncomfortable feeling of worry or fear about social situations, especially when you might be meeting new people or being the centre of attention. Your brain gets into the what if mode, saying things to you like, what if I say something stupid? What if they don't like me? New places, they'll add an extra layer of uncertainty, won't they? And your brain doesn't know what to expect, so it naturally goes into alert mode. It's like your body is gearing up for a possible threat, even if there's no real danger. This can make you feel shaky, tongue-tied, or like you want to just disappear into the ground. Totally normal, but I know also totally frustrated. So what can you do? Here are the 5 best tips I use and I'm going to share with you in this podcast today. The first step is to start small. Before you dive into any big social situation, practice low pressure interactions first. It's as easy as saying hi to somebody at McDonald's or in a coffee shop. Smile at somebody passing by, a complete stranger. If you're out walking the dog, just gently put your gaze to theirs and try and make brief eye contact with somebody either in college, in the workplace, or somebody you're sitting next to at the traffic lights. These little wins are like practice for your social muscles, and each small interaction builds confidence and helps your brain learn that social situations aren't as scary as they feel. Remember, consistency is key. Even these small, tiny steps, you have to start small to build big. They really do matter. Next, I'm going to suggest we talk about some grounding techniques. So tip number 2, anxiety can feel overwhelming, we all know that, but these tools are going to help you reconnect with the present moment. Anxiety normally sits in the future. It's the what ifs. It's the things we can't control, the I don't knows and the uncertainty. So we need to get your brain used to knowing what that is, but bringing it back into the here and now. And you're going to do this by taking a slow, deep breath. You inhale for 4 and you exhale for 7. The longer breath, that's where the magic is. Always remember the exhale has to be longer. This will regulate and calm down your nervous system. Repeat this as often as you need to. Or you can look around and you can name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and maybe 1 thing just to ground yourself that little bit further. This is the self-compassionate inner voice. We need to carve this out, that 1 thing you are grateful for. And then notice your feet are on the ground or your hands are just resting comfortably. You are not in physical danger. The grounding signals to your body and your brain send a very sharp, strong message. I'm safe now. It's a simple but incredibly effective way to calm racing thoughts. Tip number 3, a lot of social anxiety comes from worrying about how others see us. So one way to ease that pressure is to shift your focus outward. When your focus is inward, you're focusing on those really difficult, uncomfortable thoughts and feelings. So gently move your focus to what is around you. Look with curiosity about the people. Who's in the room? What do they look like? Who do they remind you of? Are they wearing a football shirt that you can connect with? And listen actively instead of rehearsing what you're going to say next. So if somebody's talking about a football team or the weather, just listen and gently just offer up some form of response to those conversations. Pay attention to your surroundings and notice the small details. When your attention moves away from you, your anxiety will naturally decrease because you are distracting yourself away from it and you're going to feel more connected with who's in the room. Tip number 4 for you, it's also really important to practice self-compassion. Feeling anxious doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. This is a human condition. Anxiety is your response to a fear. Whether it's real or not, your brain does not know that. So treat yourself like you would a friend. You can start saying these kind of words to yourself along the lines of, it's okay to feel nervous. I'm doing my best. I will breathe my way through it. I am not at any risk around me. And remind yourself that anxiety is a signal, not a reflection of you or your worth. And focus on your effort rather than being perfect in those moments. The self-compassion will help reduce shame and build resilience. The more you practice it, the more natural this will become for you and your brain. Tip number 5, celebrate every single step. Every time you step into a new place, say hi, or make any kind of connection, that's progress. Really well done. It might be a lovely idea to keep a journal of your wins. You can do that in a book or on your phone, or reward yourself with a small treat, or just brief little pat on the back, a little rub of that arm, just to go, well done, you did really well in that situation. Remember, your confidence doesn't come overnight. Progress matters way more than you getting it perfect or getting it right. And every little thing you do will add up. This is not a battle. You are not losing because social anxiety is winning. You're just struggling more with the feelings. And I really do believe you have within you the skills to be able to manage this better than you are doing. Thank you for listening to We Are All Fine. I hope you are leaving knowing social anxiety in new places is, yes, completely normal, but with practice, grounding, self-compassion, and remembering to celebrate those small wins, you can start to feel more confident and connected. I've also shared today in episode 25 how, if you're thinking of going into therapy, what it will look like and how you will benefit from it. If you have found this episode helpful, which goodness, I hope you have, share it with a friend who might need it. And come and follow me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube or Facebook for lots and lots of daily tips and encouragement. And remember, know this, I believe this, you're doing better than you think. I will be here next week, so please make sure you are too. And I'll be talking about overthinking, why we do it, and most importantly, how you can slow down the whirring of your thoughts. I have created a great technique to use to literally slice and stop your racing thoughts in their tracks. You do not want to miss the next episode. We are all flawed, insecure, nervous and emotional, but always remember, be yourself. You are no one else. Until next time, look after you, look after how you're feeling, and trust the process. Finally, some important takeaways. The podcast is for informational use only and should not be used as a substitution for professional advice or for personal diagnosis. These opinions are personal, and I do not guarantee the accuracy of such opinions or information. I'm not intending to create a counselling relationship with you, and you should always consult a qualified mental health professional with any concerns.